Happy New Year. My name is Kirsty, Crafting Kirsty, here on YouTube and also on Instagram. This is a Flosstube / Quiltytube / Craftytube video. So basically I'm talking, and this is a plans video. I don't know whether this is going to be out on the 1st or the 2nd of January 2023. But this is basically my plans for next year, how to try and get myself more organised so I can achieve more. Yeah, so all good plans. Currently today, it is the 31st of December. I am recording this straight after I've just recorded a sort of whip update. But I'm going to record it now and then hopefully get it out within the next day or two. So if you watched my previous one, then I'm back already. And if you did watch my previous one, thank you very much. It was a bit garbled, some of it. So yeah, so plans for 2023. I like to do a lot of different crafts. And I have one half of my brain is a squirrel. The other half of my brain is a focus, achieve, finish. And occasionally they collide, which then ends up with me just doing nothing because I don't know quite what I need to work on next. And I really want this year to achieve a few things across everything that I enjoy doing. So I have decided, or I was watching a YouTube video last year, about this time last year. A lady, her channel's called All the Stitches with Colleen, C-O, I think it's L-E-E-N, but I will put it down below in the description box. And she was discussing her sort of 9 focus pieces. And I know this has been going on out there. I haven't really paid much attention to it, but basically she had chosen 9 projects that she was going to focus on for, I think it was 21. So I was watching this video at the beginning of 22. And if nothing else, she worked on those and got those achieved. And I thought that was a really good idea. I don't know who came up with the idea, but I'm modifying it slightly and I'm going to call it my 3x3. And the reason I'm doing that is obviously you have 9 projects and I've drawn a little project page, but I'm going to have 3 aims within my cross stitching, 3 aims within my quilting, and then 3 aims within my crafting. So I think it'll make more sense as I go forwards, hopefully. So this is my little book I bought. I know everyone has the Needle Workers Book of Days. They're absolutely lovely, but I didn't want that. So I bought this, I just picked it up. Paper Chase, I think this came from. And essentially it's a calendar booklet, which I quite like. So you've got only a small space to scribble what you've done that day, but there's room for notes. But after each month, which is what I liked and which is why I chose this, I have a couple of pages just of lined paper for notes. So I can sort of write down notes for my Flosstube or, you know, just keep it all in one place and keep it organised. So in the back of my book, and I was watching Teresa Little Stitcher last night or yesterday, I think, with her plans. And she's got these immaculate spreadsheets and, you know, everything's all on a computer. I managed to find a ruler and that's as far as I got. So in the back of the book, because hopefully by the end of the year, I'll be able to tick everything up, I have done my 3x3. So I've got 3, 3 and 3. In the front of the book, and I'll explain a bit more about this later, I have done a year, you know, the months of the year, and basically subdivided them with aims of what I will work on in those months. And then on this page, I've got my starts. I have 3 planned starts for this year at the moment. I don't intend on starting lots and lots of things. That being said, I'm not starting things. I'm not buying stuff. I'm not knotting anything. I just want to work on my aims and achieve as much as I can. So, cross stitching, what are my aims? So aim number 1 is to finish the Morris Dancer from GGR, and that is by the time I go to the Great British Sampler Weekend, which starts on Friday, September the 29th of 2023. So I've got about, I don't know, 8 months within which to do this. So this is the Morris Dancer by GGR. Now I started this May I bought the chart when I was at the Essex Needles retreat, and I think there's 4 or 5 of us. I know Penelope's stitching it, Janet's stitching it, Ellie Stitcher is stitching it, Chris is stitching it, and I'm stitching it. So there's 5 of us that have sort of started this all together, and 4 of us I think are going to be at the Great British Sampler weekend. So I sort of just jokingly threw it out there going, well, why don't we all try and get it to the point where we've only got to put the last few stitches in at that weekend and we can all put it in together. I don't know what the other ladies, I don't know where their progress is. We haven't been posting a huge amount, and whether they're going to be able to achieve that. If they don't, they don't. It doesn't matter. My aim, just because I want to get a good finish this year, is to have this so I only have the last few stitches to put in on that weekend. So this is an absolute bed sheet. I'm doing it on 27 count. And this is where I've got to so far. So I've basically managed all of the border and started or finished a few of the rows across it. So I've got a lot of work to do on this, but that's absolutely fine. So that is aim number 1, to have that finished by September. So aim number 2 within cross stitch is to finish the 5 seasonal pieces that I have on the go at the moment. Now you will have seen some of these in my last video. So I won't show them all, but I will show the cover charts. So these aren't smalls, but they're not large samplers either. And it's actually, you know, I've started quite a few in this last year, and I would just like to get them done out of the bag. So you've got Hare's Autumn, of which I have the most piddly pathetic start. I have the Bounty Sampler from Plum Street Samplers. Hare's Autumn was also Plum Street Samplers. I have slightly more achieved on this one, I think. So I've sort of... Now I showed these last 3 in my last video. So if you actually want to see what I've done so far, I'll go back to that. I want to finish the Christmas Witch. So far I've managed to do the Witch. So I've got all of this to go. I want to finish my Merry Christmas from Al Forest Embroidery. I've got the Merry, I've got the C and the H and the R done. So I just have Isthmus left to go. And I would like to finish my classic Christmas pudding. This is a chart by Emma Congdon. It is still available. I bought the magazine that it came out in a good few years ago. The front's come off of it. So issue 3, oh no, maybe it's issue 301. But anyway, it is still a readily available chart, and I would like to get that finished. And within that, number 2 of finish my started seasonal pieces, this year I would like to focus on Christmas smalls. So if I'm not either stitching GGR or my 5 seasonal pieces, I would like to get some Christmas smalls done. The problem is I get, you know, every season you start watching everyone on the YouTube and they've got all their smalls in the wall. And like, oh, I need to get those stitched. And you sort of start some, and by the time you're into Christmas, you think, I need Christmas, and then it's Easter, you need Easter smalls. And I never seem to get, so actually just for this year, I want to focus on Christmas smalls. And then next year I will, I don't know, autumn smalls or whatever. But just this year, if I'm going to do smalls, I want them to be Christmas themed. And then my third aim within my cross stitching section is to clear my bag of shame. And that involves FFOing. Quite a few charts, quite a few finishes I have. This is just embarrassing. I'm not going to go through them all. I've got things like this. This is really bad. So this time last year, I was showing these in frames, going, these aren't framed properly. They don't quite fit, but they'll do for the moment. I wonder if I'll have them framed properly by next year. Well, the answer is no, I haven't. So I've got a Snow Village. None of these are ironed, I'm afraid. I've just pulled them out. I've got Jack Frost's Tree Farm. These are all the summer smalls I did this year that I still haven't turned into pillows. Merry Christmas. Lorraine has started, finished, fully finished, and shown hers on her channel. I haven't finished mine yet. You know, I have this weather vane. I'll have another farmhouse Christmas that still haven't done anything with. Now, in my defence, I did eventually buy, because I don't want them in frames. I don't want them on the wall all year, I've decided. So I've ended up buying these hangers, and I'm going to turn them into sort of, you know, hanging pieces that can just come out for Christmas season. But there are still quite a few more finished objects in my bag of shame. So that is my third and final aim for my cross stitching for 2023. So those are the three biggies. I want to be able to tick those off by the end of the year. That being said, should I go into this one? Yeah, I think, so that being said, my year is quite changeable. I don't work. I help John on the farm as and when I need to. So I have months where I'm flat out and other months where I'm doing nothing. So what I've actually done is I've sorted my year out. So basically, January, February, March and April, I really don't have huge amounts to do. The gardening will start March, April time, but that's fine. May, June, July, August and September, I've just accepted that actually I get very, very little done, because that's just a very busy time for all, well, for me and for John and for everybody, and it's how it goes. Also, I like to be outside, so I've tried to make sure that the projects I'm going to do, I can actually just take outside and do outside easily. And then in October, November, December. Now, December, I haven't stitched much this year, December, because I don't know, I just don't seem to. So I'm not expecting too much. But October, November and December, I'm also lumping into a group, because actually I don't have as much to do on the farm. So I should be able to get more stuff done. So January, February, March and April, I have put down basically as the Morris dancer and the seasonal pieces. The Morris dancer particularly I want to crack on with. And I've put to outline the Huntsman. Now the Huntsman is this piece from the Scarlet Letter. Absolutely, I do enjoy it. I love it, it's great. But it is quite, sorry, I'll hold it back up again. It is quite blocky. So it is possible, I have started, sorry these aren't ironed. I have started because I did this earlier. So look, I've sort of got all this tree to fill in. And there's a lot of sky and background. So basically, over the next however many months, 3-4 months, I'm going to sort of, I'm not going to go to town on it because Morris Dancer is the main aim, but I would like to get a bit more outlining done on this piece so that in the summertime, because I don't need any magnification for this, I don't need any particular light, I can see it quite easily. I think this is a 27 count Linda. There's not a huge amount of colour changing, so in the summertime I can go and sit outside if I've got time with this piece and work on it. And then, so that's the only piece I want to work, well, apart from Christmas smalls, possibly. That's the only cross-stitch piece I want to work on between May and September. So for October, November, December, I've put a question mark, but what I've actually put is 3 pages on a sampler. Now, I have a lot of big samplers on the go, which I'm quite happy with, but I would like to make progress on at least one of them this year. So the first one that I am thinking about is Maria Juanaria, 1833 to 34. I started this July for my birthday, the Wonky Donkey Sal, and Stitchy Rachel started it with me, and Elaine Ellie Welly Stitcher has started it with me. And I think some other people started also, but other projects. But I really haven't got very much done on this at all. It's a huge piece. This is 36 count. And I've basically got some of the border done. Well, I've got all the border meets up. Might not look like it, but it does. But that's about all I've got done on it. So And I have a few charts in this similar state. So at the moment, that's the one I think, just because it was my birthday start and I'd really like to make a bit more of an effort with it, certainly within this year. Or, I don't know, we'll see. I'll make that decision when I get there, but at the moment, that's my main contender. So I think that is all the cross stitch I have to waffle about. And the plans that I've made. Oh no, starts, sorry. So I will discuss starts. So as I said, I've only got 3 that I know I'm starting this year, or I'd like to start this year. The first one is in July, on my birthday. I would like to start Elizabeth Bevan from Hats Hands Across the Sea Samplers. 2 reasons really. 1, I really like the chart, and 2, I'm going to the Great British Sampler Weekend, as we all know, in September, organised by Hats Hands Across the Sea Sampler. I don't actually own any of their charts yet, and I haven't actually stitched anything from them. So I thought I ought to sort of pull my finger out and at least have a start on a project that I will be able to take with me for the weekend. And my favourite project from them, I like a lot of them, but my favourite one is Elizabeth Bevan. So I'm going to purchase that at some point and aim to start that in July. In August, for the last couple of years, I have started a fancy blanket piece with Ellie Stitcher, Alison of Stitching Whippet, and it's Ali Stitcher. I think it's Elaine's good friend. I'm so sorry, that's really rude. I can't remember. I think it's Ali Stitcher. Joined us this year as well. So I've penciled in for August that we'll have a fancy blanket start. And then in October, on October 31st, I have bullied Megan of Coffee Craft Fabrics to start Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow with me. Both wanted to stitch it. We had a very rushed, let's get it started this year. I think we were sort of discussing that at the beginning of October, and by the time October the 31st came around, we were both like, no, that's not going to happen. But we have now definitely, well, I've definitely, you'd better have definitely, Gemma, put it in your diary that we're going to start on October the 31st. So that's Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. So if you are one of the very few people out there that hasn't already stitched it and you would like to join us, then please do. So I think that is now the end of my cross-stitching pieces, or my cross-stitching section. That's not to say I'm not going to touch other whips. I will do, but these are my main aims, my main focuses, and I've tried to work it so that I can see myself actually managing to finish things within certain parts of the year. So I'm now going to go on to quilting. So if you're not interested in the quilting section, thank you for joining me, and I will see you, I don't know, end of January, beginning of February time. So quilting, my 3 blocks within the quilting, which is the middle section here. Block number 1 is to finish all my sals. So at the moment, I've got the Etoile Rouge, which is from Catherine Kerr. I am so close to finish it. I mean, I've literally only put that on there so that I will get a tick within January. So I'm so close to finishing it, but I'll put it on there anyway. I've got the Lady Tulip block of the month on the go from Laundry Basket Quilts. I've done the first 3. Yeah, I think I've done the first 3 months, or maybe I've done a few more than that. I've now got it all. I've got all the finishing fabrics have come through and everything. So that is just a case of cracking on with it. I will say that's the first time I've ordered or been involved in anything from their company. Obviously, they're based in America. I bought the pre-cut version, which I'm really, really enjoying. And I've had absolutely no issues whatsoever with delivery, even with our Royal Mail strikes that have been going on here. And, you know, it's always turned up. It's always been very well packaged. I've never had to pay any extra, you know, VAT or tax on it. Yeah, it was really good. So if you are in England and thinking, oh, I really love her stuff and I don't know, I personally would recommend it. I've had no issues. I think it's been absolutely great. And then obviously you have seen in my last video, Caution Curves Ahead from Jen Kingwell. I haven't started this yet. I will be starting it in January. So this is another block of the month. or 2 or 3 blocks per month that I'm doing through the So Hot UK. Now, when I say finish all my sales, certainly for the Etoile Rouge and the Lady Tulip, I want to fully finish. I want them backed, quilted, bound, ready to go. The Caution Curves Ahead, this one I will still be receiving my last block, I think, in December. So I would like, so with regards to this one, I want to have kept up with it so that when December comes, I might not manage to get the block done because, as I said, my sewing machine goes away, but it's all that I've got to do left is that final block. Box number 2 within my quilting section is my Jane Austen coverlet, or quilt coverlet, whatever you have. So that is this piece. I'm hand piecing this. I started at the beginning of December. I'm under no illusions that this is going to take me a long time, and I'm quite happy with that. However, if I have aims per year, then hopefully it will take me 2 or 3 years rather than 20 or 30 years. So the first subsection of this is to have all the pieces cut out. So I was showing this earlier, but you know, we've got a lot of big diamonds, little diamonds, sashing, and then little sections of sort of like, I think down in the bottom of these corners, you've got, you know, 2 templates to use. So to get everything cut out, including, these are all 1-inch diamonds, and I think there's about 2,500 of them. So by the end of the year, I would like to have, listening to myself now thinking, oh, this could be a tall order. I'd like to have everything cut out and ready to sew together. Second subsection to that is to plan for the centre motif. So to actually have a drawn plan or a plan of, right, these are the templates that I'm going to use, and to have got the fabric together to actually do that. So in the middle of here, they've got this large centre motif, which that's just a big bouquet of flowers, and I think there might be a bird in that possibly. Now, I have searched high and low. Very rarely do you get fabric these days printed with motifs that large on them. I have bought a few different types, but they've been quite heavy canvas or heavy cotton, curtainy sort of fabrics, you know, which I'm not against using. But actually now the majority of the quilt's going to be in French general fabric. They're just not going to fit in. So I think I'm going to have to do my own applique piece in that centre diamond, which I'm quite happy to do. But I have no idea what it's actually going to be yet. So that is when I say make a plan of what I'm actually going to do and get the fabric together. So I can just put it in a bag and I know I've got it there. And then the third, sorry, get it back out again. The third little subset of my Jane Austen coverlet is she recommends that, or the designer recommends that you put it together in quarters. So you put all this quarter together and then this quarter and then these 2 quarters, and then you stitch it all together. And I'm going to aim, and again I'm thinking, I'm going to aim to have 1 quarter done by this time next year. So if I can have all the pieces cut out and ready to go, 1 quarter of it actually sewn together, physically sewn together, and a plan and the fabric in a bag for my centre motif. Didn't sound that much in my head. Sounds quite a lot now I'm saying it out loud. But you know, these are, if I don't make it, I don't make it. But this is what I would like to try and achieve. And then the third part of my quilting, which again, I've gone for a slightly easier sort of goal or aim, is to kit up my Midnight Silhouette Blackbird Designs quilt. So I'd like to get it kitted up and start it, I think. Probably, I'm not going to particularly put a date on starting it, October, November time. You know, when everyone's got all their Halloween quilts out, I'm like, oh, I would like to have this kitted up so I can at least start working on it by the end of the year. At the moment, I haven't got anything. I've got the pattern and that's it. I haven't got anything. I've got numerous quilt shows to go to over this year. So, You know, rather than just going to the quilt show and buying fabric because it's pretty, I want to go and actually buy fabric for this project. And then the other section of that little subset there is to plan or kit up seasonal quilts for next year. And the majority of those will be like machine pieced. So rather quicker, sort of 2-3 weeks, a bit of machine piecing, and you'll have it done. I mean, I've got, I think it was, I can't remember her name now, but there was a fabric line that came out last year, Acorn Harvest. Well, I've got sort of a 1/2 metre bundle of it. I just need to find a pattern that I want to use it in. So it's those sorts of things. I've got sort of some lovely, I've got some fat quarters bundles, I've got some jelly rolls, blah, blah, blah. Just start marrying things together so that I can have 3 or 4 projects lined up, not necessarily cut up, but just, right, those fabrics are going to be used for that, and I can just pull it out at some point and start using it. Because at the moment I seem to have a lot of patterns, a lot of fabric, and not much meeting in the middle. So that was the end of the quilting. And the other thing, the only thing really that I've done with regards to within the months of the year for my quilting is the Jane Austen, to try and get as much stitched together in the summer months again, because it's the sort of thing, I mean, I took this on holiday with me. It's a little bag full of bits for one section. I've got my needles, scissors, thread, and a few binder clips in there. You know, this is nice and easy just to be able to take out into the garden. It's not a big, heavy thing sitting on your lap in hopefully the heat of summer. So yeah, so I will be, I've got 1 cross stitch, 1 quilt, and I've also got a crochet project over the months of May to September to concentrate on that hopefully I'll be able to do outside. And then finally, we come down to the crafting section. So those are my first 6, and I'm down onto the last 3. And I've divided the crafting up into, I've got a knitting block, a crochet block, and then a general crafts block. So with my knitting, you will already have seen this, but I would like to finish, or did I just, excuse me a minute. No, it's in here. So I have started, and I would like to finish my tank top. I'm sort of thinking that hopefully I will get that done by this sort of May time-ish. Over the next few months, that's what I'm going to be concentrating on. For the back end months with regards to, you know, so October, November, December, I would like to start a sweater. And when I say a sweater, I mean a proper sweater with sleeves on it. So obviously this is tank top, no sleeves. I'm going to be learning quite a lot doing these sections anyway. So for me, the next natural progression would be to make a sweater with sleeves in it, because they really, really scare me having to pick up stitches and do things like that. So I have got lots, I haven't chosen a pattern yet. I have got lots of patterns on my Ravelry page lined up, as you can imagine. It will be a very, very basic sweater, just literally so I can learn how to knit a sweater. And the third one I've got within that section is to learn how to knit some socks. I would love to be able to knit socks. I love all these self-striping yarns. So I'd like to learn how to knit socks. Whether I do that again, whether that's a slightly more summertime project because they're not so big, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, we shall see. The second block is my crochet, and I've only actually got 1 project within this. My 9 items that are actually now 99. But I've only got 1 block, and I have saved this specifically for this year. So I ordered this year, saved it for next year. And this is the fireside blanket from Attic 24. And I got the kit with all these lovely, lovely colours in. And as far as I can tell from the construction, from what I've read so far, you can start by doing the inner parts of these squares, and then it's not until you start to join it all together. So you can get, I don't know if it's written in here, I'm not explaining that very well. But I think you can get the inner section done And then you can start joining them all. Yeah, so you can get 3 rounds done, and then it's the 4th round which incorporates the join as you go method. And I have read somewhere, I will doubly check, but I have read somewhere that she basically, the late Attic 24, the designer, basically, I think, just got a whole load of the middles done and then joined it all together sort of more towards the end. And I thought, well, for me, again, that would be a great thing to do. No, I can't see it on here. It's probably on her website or on the blog. That would be a great thing to do in the summer. I can just sit outside. I don't have a massive blanket all over my lap, making me too hot. But I can just make all the inner parts of the squares and then join them together when the fire's lit and we're sitting indoors and I want to be warm. So that is the only thing I've got within the crochet, is the far side blanket. And then the final, my 9th square, is for crafts. And I have broken that up into some ornaments and some kits. So the ornaments are these prim ornaments. Now, I bought these patterns ages ago and I've never really got round to them. I've done some, but I haven't done all of the patterns that I've got. And I think, again, the problem is, you know, they're very seasonal. And I always think about it a bit too late, and then I have to go and buy the stuff, and it just never happens. So actually I've just chosen 3 out of season, whenever. As long as I've got all 3 of these done by the end of the year, I will have something for next year seasonally to display. So I picked up, or I chose, because as I said, I already had these in stock. This is Primitive Grungy Porch Pumpkins by Denise Jones, who is primsbydenise@yahoo.com. And it's peach bottom primitives on Etsy. So it'd be quite nice to get that done, obviously, for autumn. Same lady, again, I'll put everything down below. I've picked out the Easter bunnies. So, you know, this will probably be the first one that I do, or try to get completed, so that I can have these for this Easter. If I don't, I don't. As long as I've done them by the end of the year, I can have them for next Easter. And then I picked out Primitive Gingerbread and Snowmen Doll Ornies, which are those. So obviously those are for Christmas time. So those are the 3 ornaments that I intend on getting done. Again, I haven't really put this into a specific month. Yeah, so as long as they're done by some point, by the end of the year, that will be great. And then the other thing is I've pulled a few of my kits out because I feel guilty about the fact that I haven't done them, basically. And I would like to get them done. And, you know, they're kits, so it shouldn't be difficult. I've got all the stuff to do them with. So the first one is Ferdinand Fox. This is from House of Zandra. They have lots and lots of different types of animals. I've already done the turkey. I've done the dinosaur. I've got the felt. I have stuffing anyway. So if I get him done, I can buy another one because I do like those. I have got the Country Folk by Brenda Walker double knit dating agency draft excluder. So this is a bit of sort of applique. Make a draft excluder, or I might just use it as a pillow on, you know, on something. So again, I've got, you know, the entire kit. No reason why I shouldn't make it. I have, again, by Brenda Walker, the Country Folk by Brenda Walker. I have the Woolly Jumper Knitting Bag. Now, really, I should get this done before I start making my first knitted jumper. And again, completely kitted up. No reason why I shouldn't make it. So, and then the last thing, and I'm a bit about this one. I would like to get it done. Don't like the colours. So, ages ago, I bought from Monkey Buttons this Home Sweet Home bag, which is, this is the bag and that's the back. And I really, really like it. And then when I saw her at the next quilt show, I noticed that she'd started doing kits for these. I thought, oh, fantastic. But she didn't have the colours that are in here. Basically, it's the blues. She didn't have that particular set of colours. She'd sold out of those. So I sort of bought another set. And I don't particularly like them. And I wish I hadn't bought them. But I've bought them, so I need to use them. So we've got those, and then this is the fact. So this is basically, you applique onto this, the houses, and the houses are made out of all of these. And I should imagine it's the sort of thing that when it's done, I will actually really like it. But it's not just, it's very purpley, lilac-y. I think some of these, I mean, that to my mind, that's got to be a Lynette Anderson design. That's right. And that's how I would describe most of these. They're Lynette Anderson colours, which I like. I do like Lynette Anderson. I've never done anything by her, but I do like it, but she's very distinctive. Yeah, so it's all of those together, which, again, as I said, when I make it, I'm sure I'll absolutely love it. Oh, I'm really hungry now, sorry. You start to feel a bit icky because you're really hungry. I'm really hungry now. Oh, and my autumn ornaments, I haven't brought them in, I forgot to bring them in. They're sort of wool applique ornaments from Liberty Bell, but they are actually by, I can't remember. Really famous American company. No, gone completely. I'll write it in the description box below. But I had a monthly shipment from Liberty Bell of these autumnal ornaments, and I've made about 3 of them, and I've actually got about another 5 or 6 to make. So again, I need to get those done. And actually that could be something that I could sort of figure into the first few months, so that actually I've got them to hang up. And that is that. It really doesn't seem that much when you're just sort of walking the dog and thinking about it, and when you're writing it down. And then when you're actually saying it, it seems like quite a lot. But these are aims, these are goals. This is just to keep me focused and on track, rather than to be squirreling left, right and centre, and then get to the end of the year and think, oh, still haven't made that quilt, still haven't got that quilt, still haven't bought that pattern, or, you know, just, yeah. So we shall see. All good plans made to be broken. You can start a book on how long you think it'll be until I break my plans. Anyway, happy New Year. And I will be back at the end of January, beginning of February, with an update. I think I am from now on just going to lump them all in together again, I'm afraid. I will try and put timestamps down at the bottom if people want to skip various parts of it. Yeah, take care. Bye.